Hi guys, welcome to today's video. In today's video, we'll look at a scenario in which Poland was a world power in World War II. Let's start before it. Let's go back to the 1920s, after the Polish-Soviet War. Let's go change what happened in Lithuania. Make Lithuania fall back to Poland, forming the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth. Because Poland, as we know, got its independence in World War I, kinda. But after it, they got their true independence. And let's say they annexed Lithuania. That's what they did. This would make them much stronger. Arguably, they would be much stronger with two accesses to the coast, completely surrounding Danzig. That would scare the Germans, most likely. And probably wouldn't continue north, because maybe get more coast. But let's say they were told not to. Now, time is going on. Let's say Germany, Hitler still rises to power. He takes back the Rhineland. Want to know a fun fact? I roll, because I'm in a wheelchair. Great for me. Yeah, I guess, maybe. But, yeah. But Hitler still rose to power anyways. He is a bad person. But Poland, with a small border dispute with Czechia, occupies that part, which leads to a war with Czechia, and this is called the Czech Crisis, because I think that's where Polish's claims were. With Czechia joining in, not Czechia, Hungary, and yeah, as we can tell, it's not going so well for Czechia, as Slovakia's capital falls. With Czechia trying to make a counteroffensive, which they do pretty well, but at this point, they can't really do much more, and they see Germany looks like they might attack. Which probably will happen, but at this point, a peace treaty is signed. And as we know, since Poland's a superpower, we have to show how they became it. So this is the beginning of the video, so let's see how the treaty went. This is called the Czech Treaty, which was a treaty that Poland and Hungary signed. It's called the Treaty of Bratislava, because that's where it was signed. So let's see what happened. In some ginormous lands, Hungary, the Hungarian inhabited areas. Poland being much stronger, Hitler is a bit worried about this, but Poland won't be colored for just a minute, because Germany is doing something they probably shouldn't do. Let's pay attention to Germany now. I know this is an alternate history, so Poland's very strong. With Poland asking the Baltics to join them in order for protection. With this being the Anschluss, with the Austrian people not standing against this German aggression, which is against the Treaty of Versailles. And Germany does a lot of bad things. They steamroll Austria, even though Austria looks like a piece of fried chicken. I guess maybe they were hungry. I'm not good at jokes, but I kinda am. Germany doing that awful Anschlussy thing. They then go on to demand the Sudetenland, which Britain and France is like, sure, you can have the Sudetenland. And you won't annex Czechia, right? Yeah, right, I won't. And since I can't draw borders, I'll just draw what I think works. And that's what the Sudetenland looks like, definitely, guys. Definitely. With Hungary being much more strong in the region, and I think they'd be more pro-Poland than pro-Germany. With Germany being Germany and annexing the Sudetenland, because what else is there for Germany to do in the 1930s? And it looks awful on the map, because I didn't draw it right, probably. But with Germany happy about what they got, and they stopped. Just kidding. They keep demanding more and more. Why do I have Danzig colored in? Who knows? As they decide to push in further. And Hungary takes the opportunity to take some more land from them. So this is how Hungary becomes more pro-Germany, with Germany establishing a pro-German puppet in Slovakia. Which is a pretty big deal, guys, considering now they're pretty strong and able to when Hungary is much stronger in this timeline at this point. With the Axis, it's going to be the same. Maybe a bit different without Hungary, because Hungary is pro-Poland and kind of pro-Germany, but I would say they turned more pro-Poland with all Poland's help. Well, they didn't invade Poland in World War II. Now let's see the Axis form. As we all know, the Axis came. And we're mostly focused on Europe, because it's not going to change the war in the Pacific, I doubt. It might make it end faster and such on. Maybe Japan, maybe nukes will be developed faster, who knows. With the Axis being signed between Italy and Germany. Hungary doesn't sign it because, well, it's a bit different in this time with Italy being Italy, being Italy, being Italy. Yep, we have to not forget about their colonies because they're a colonial empire. With Germany at this point saying Danziger War, Poland says, no, we're not giving you Danzig. We will never bow to your desire, Germany. Germany and the Axis is like, really? You think you can stop us? Poland's like, well, oh, I forgot something. Well, the Baltics joined them when they offered protection a few years back that I forgot to do. But Poland's like, what can you do? We're a world power. Germany's like, yeah, you're weak. Because of reasons I'm not going to say, but yeah, why they say it. Because it's the no-no Germans, I guess you could call them. With Poland, as you can see, extending further north, as they're trying to form different things. Looks like the intermarium actually came, but it didn't. You know what I mean. What if the intermarium actually worked out? What if World War II was different? What if World War II didn't happen? What if World War I was a war to end all wars? What if Poland was stronger than Germany? With Germany and Italy being like, yeah, Poland, you won't even stand more than a month. 2 months later. But, just to say this, they are a superpower, but like a world power, not necessarily stronger than Germany. With Britain demanding Germany leave Poland or war still, as Germany doesn't. France and Britain joins, along with Hungary, because Hungary would happen for very quick, I would say. I would say quickly Italy seizes these two colonies and they start moving over towards here. Let's say they maybe succeed in this timeline. They didn't in ours, let's say. Slightly going to be different just because it's hard to get every details right. With this happening, they quickly fold in this area because they aren't able to hold it. Keep in mind, not all Yemen is actually on the team. It's just that's all colored. With the Allies seizing this region of Libya, because I think they did. They might have not. I'll keep in mind, events are different at this point as Poland hasn't fallen as fast. With Germany at this point struggling to keep a hold up here because Poland's much stronger in this timeline, which is a big embarrassment for their prestige around the world. And let's look. They managed to invade Hungary. And they quickly take Budapest. And they change the government. And install a puppet in Hungary. Which they puppet and use to invade Poland from the south. With the Soviets hungry for land, most likely, and Poland not receiving help. Really, I think if they were a world power, they would stand up to this. But in the north, probably not as strongly defended because they didn't expect the Soviets to join. The Soviets doing better than the Germans, but Poland is holding on because they're one of the top few strongest nations. They're probably the third or fourth in this timeline. Probably fifth, actually, or sixth. With Italy seizing these lands, I guess you guys like alternate history videos with them even seizing into Egypt. But the Soviets getting pushed back by the Germans, not the Germans. The Soviets get pushed back by the Poles, and the Germans do too, and they're pretty embarrassed by this. With this becoming the Winter War, except Germany's Winter War. At this point, France tries to persuade Belgium to join in Luxembourg so they can go around the Maginot Line, I guess. With the French, along with the Belgium and Netherlands decide to take some of an attack. They go on the offensive. With Italy going on the offensive too. With Poland actually having success because they're the with them thinking of making peace with the Soviets at this point. The Soviets come to Poland and are interested in peace due to this endless conflict with no end in sight. The Germans are infuriated by this, to the point where they decline to give them Bessarabia. Now let's see where the Soviets now make peace. They might get some Baltic land as a plan and some Eastern Polish land, is what the in Germany in this war. With the Soviets having agreed to the Polish treaty, there's then a pushback. With the first Hungarian rebellion starts, which is swiftly crushed by the German Reich. But that doesn't stop it, because that was just a weak uprising to trick the Germans into thinking they took it all out. For the real rebellion, which happens, and Poland moves in to support this rebellion. With Germany making another offensive, because they're still a strong nation, to hopefully get a blockade set up, the Germans would then would invade Denmark a year maybe before, a few months before they actually invaded Denmark to try and secure the Black Sea, which Sweden does nothing because they're neutral and they don't want to break their neutrality, and Norway is told they won't be invaded if they do something, which they agree to do. With Germany starting to move back into East Prussia, but let's see what goes on in Finland. With the Soviets thinking they're the most powerful nation in the world at this point for some reason. Probably more powerful than the Germans, but that's besides the point in this timeline. And Russia makes a huge offensive as they head right towards Helsinki. Oh wait, this is because it's a bit later in this timeline they invade this. Finland still makes a major counter-offensive, keeping their gains to the east and kick them out of the north. And they also make an attempt to get all the way over there, but this is a failure. 500,000 Soviets are dead probably at this point, but yeah, as long as Stalin is happy, I guess. As ever, I want to stop totalitarianism. With Finland doing much better in this timeline because Russia isn't as strong due to how long it took them to seize Poland, giving the Finnish fighters more morale, which doesn't allow Soviets to do anything in the north. And with Russia getting here, eventually, after 2 months of fighting, they're there, with Finland pushing them back to here. Finland agrees to a peace treaty, which Russia is still having to decide upon. With Germany's leadership pretty enraged by this. But not only is that bad, well, Italy gets kicked out of Tunisia and eventually Libya, and they lose their mind. With Tito wanting Albania, so he's like, no, not Tito, who was in charge of the Prince of Albania. No, you know who wasn't, not Tito, who was that? Tito rose up after the Germans occupied. But he sees opportunity to gain some lands from Italy. With Bulgaria, chances are not getting involved on the same side. With that being a major defeat, not only that, but They managed to occupy Trieste. Not Trieste. Yeah, the city of Trieste they just taken. With Poland still not giving up, Poland moves Germany back to their border. Poland has taught Hitler a valuable lesson: never attack us. And the Hungarian rebellion I was talking about now taking place. Because Hungary was being too pro-allies, that this ended up happening. With Germany in a big problems, basically. As Hungary is recreated in Slovakia by Hungary and Poland. With Hungary still in trouble because of what they did to them, but yeah. With Poland staying more western, the Soviets don't get as huge of a area. But the Soviets decide to do something on their own to the side of this war, as they invade Romania. They garner the support of Hungary, but Hungary does it alone. Hungary seizing deep into areas they have claims on. With Russia quickly moving and capturing Budapest. Not Budapest, Bucharest. And then they move into Bulgaria. And with them establishing pro-puppets, Bulgarian one invades here, and Yugoslavia, not wanting to fight the Soviets, decides not to intervene and tells them not to go any further, which the Soviets agree to this term. With the treaty with Finland still not signed yet, but they're in a ceasefire for the last few months. With Poland kicking Germany completely out of its borders, Germany has a bit of a problem as Pomerania is seized. And Poland seizes more lands. With France and Britain now making their offensive bigger. Because they haven't been moving for some reason. So Poland is now kicking Germany back. Germany would not have a good time if Poland was a strong nation. Finland would have lots of inspiration. They would probably fight back harder against the Russians, I think. With a movement into Austria starting. With them finding very bad stuff. And they move into Schleswig from Denmark and so on. The Netherlands gets in on the action because they have nothing better to do. And so France starts a siege of Italy. With this being a good scenario, I like these alternate scenarios. Also, I have another video for our Napoleonic War series that we haven't done since years ago. But yeah, actually I think it's over 2 years ago. But part 2 is necessary because we didn't do it yet, and somebody said I need to make part 2. And then Italy loses to the south. Mussolini is overthrown. Italy declares war on Germany. Germany can't do anything, and Germany just starts collapsing. Poland manages to move to the gates of Berlin, with France and Britain managing to get over to here. With Poland capturing Berlin. And a few days later, the capitulation of Germany happens. And the Treaty of Yalta is signed because they decide to come up with a Yalta Treaty. Let's see what happens. Their influence in Europe, but not as far. Poland safe. Hungary big. Czechia got what Germany took from them back, but doesn't look that good. Austria is back. France is big. As you can tell, Everett got big. But Russia had benefited not much from this war just because Poland was stronger. The reason they benefited so much is because Poland was weak. Germany quickly took it over, quickly took over the rest of Europe, and then had nowhere else to expand. So where did they expand? Where it logically makes sense. Russia because they didn't have logic. But that's all for today's video. Please like and subscribe, and don't forget to subscribe because we're getting close to our goal. And we only have 5 days to get there, so please subscribe. Bye, guys.